Good, happy Wednesday evening, February 10, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Wednesday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network, where we have a little bit of everything for you in this program. We got your weather, a look at your traffic, news, and sports. Let's begin. We got a jam-packed broadcast this evening, so let's get started. First up, let's take a look at the weather this evening. Let's take a look at the radar. And here's a look at that radar for all of you this evening. As you can see, is all clear in New Hampshire. It's going to be a clear evening in New Hampshire this evening. Weather right now is fair, 25 degrees. And let's take a look at the hourly forecast. And here's a check of that hourly forecast for all of you. And your weather for tonight, partly cloudy skies. Early will give way to cloudy skies late, low, 12 degrees, winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tomorrow, partly cloudy skies, high 28 degrees, winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And let's take a look at your extended 10-day forecast. And here's a look at that extended day forecast for all of you. And that is a look at your weather this evening. Now let's take a look at your evening traffic. And here's a look at your evening traffic map this evening. As you can see in Henniker is smooth sailing, Hopkinton, smooth sailing, Bow, Pembroke, and Concord, all smooth sailing. We got a little bit of medium and slow-paced traffic in the Bow area. Boston, Canterbury, all smooth sailing. Chichester, some medium-paced traffic with some smooth sailing and slow-paced traffic. Epsom, smooth sailing with some medium-paced traffic. Northwood, medium-paced traffic with some smooth sailing, and Lee, medium and slow-paced traffic with smooth sailing. In Durham, smooth sailing with some medium-paced traffic. Rochester, smooth sailing. Somersworth, smooth sailing. Dover, smooth sailing with some medium and slow-paced traffic. And Portsmouth, smooth sailing with some medium and slow-paced traffic. Portsmouth into Maine, smooth sailing. Portsmouth towards Rye, some medium and slow-paced traffic, and then after Rye, you're gonna see some medium and smooth sailing. Northampton, some medium and smooth sailing traffic, and Hampton's medium and smooth sailing traffic, and then after Hampton, some medium and slow-paced traffic in Seabrook and to the border of Massachusetts. 101, all smooth sailing on 101. Great ride on 101. And in the Manchester-Hooksett area, some smooth sailing with some medium-paced traffic. Around the Manchester Airport, smooth sailing. Bedford, some smooth sailing with some medium and slow-paced traffic. Medium-paced traffic near towards Amherst and smooth sailing as well. And then Milford, some medium and slow-paced traffic. Manchester, Merrimack, Nashua, and to the border of Massachusetts, all smooth sailing. Nashua, Milford, some medium and slow-paced traffic. Manchester, Derry, Londonderry, Windham, Salem, and to the border of Massachusetts, all smooth sailing. And that is a look at your traffic. And we got a couple of traffic issues to pass along for you as well. We got delays of 1 minute and delays increasing on US 3 Elm Street southbound between Webster Street and Brook Street. Average speed is 15 miles per hour. And also average speed 15 miles per hour on US Elm Street northbound between Sodell Ave and Amherst Bridge. Also delays of 1 minute on US 3 Elm Street northbound between Leach Street and Sterling Avenue. Average speed 15 miles per hour. And delays of 3 minutes and delays easing on Route 28 northbound between New Hampshire 28 Willow Street and New Hampshire 28. Average speed is 15 miles per hour. And delays of 5 minutes on Route 28 southbound between New Hampshire 28 South Beach Street and New Hampshire 28 Willow Street. And that is a check of your weather. That is a check of your evening traffic this evening. And now let's get into your news. Let's take a look at your COVID-19 numbers this evening in New Hampshire. There are 68,918 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 1,109 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire, and 159 current number of hospitalizations for COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And that is a look at your COVID-19 numbers this evening for New Hampshire. And now let's get to some other news. State relaunches its contract tracing program as COVID-19 numbers drop. Health officials now look to move from migration of contaminate. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
In the last month, daily active cases have dropped more than 50% in New Hampshire. And because of that, the state is looking to change its response strategy. Back in December, the state stopped its contact tracing and monitoring efforts because with so many cases, it was not effective. But now, HHS is looking to move from mitigation back to containment.
We are in the position now, given that our numbers have dropped from, on average, 800 to 900 new infections per day to now we're closer to 300 to 400 infections per day. We're actually in the process of looking at transitioning back to public health investigating each and every person diagnosed with COVID-19.
Dr. Chan does warn that if one of the COVID variants is detected in New Hampshire, the numbers could go back up. So it's important to wear a mask and continue to social distance.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Peterborough Project provides meals for those in need. Community Meals to Go helps families in restaurants. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Ray Brewer.
Does your boiler or furnace vent into your chimney? The majority of chimney flues in New Hampshire are actually...
And our volunteers are excited when people pull up and they can load a car with enough meals for a family.
And Tuesday and Thursday evenings from 5 to 6 in the upper parking lot of the South Meadows School in Peterborough, people can do just that. It's a project called Community Meals to Go.
The spirit of this is, first come, first serve. We don't ask you to prove anything. You need a meal, you show up, we ask you, how many do you need?
The project is just in its second week of handing out food, and it's sponsored by a number of community organizations. So far, nearly $50,000 has been raised. The program also designed to help local restaurants through tough times.
So we pay the restaurants in advance, for a certain number of meals per week. They're on a schedule.
The meals are kept cold or frozen, so people don't have to worry about keeping them warm. Organizers believe they're reaching a different population from the food pantries.
Very often, these are folks who don't have full kitchens, don't have the ability to make meals, or want groceries per se.
Another byproduct of the project, it's hoped it'll help people feeling isolated.
But rather need, in terms of connection, community, relief from the stress of just life right now.
The thought is the project will run through the end of May, but organizers may reassess as they get closer to that date. Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Pedestrian struck by vehicle in downtown Concord. North Main Street was closed for more than 2 hours during an investigation of an accident on Tuesday. Take a look at this photo from the scene. This is a photo from the scene of that accident. Concord police and firefighters were sent to North Main Street on Monday for a pedestrian struck in the street. Around 6 p.m., police and EMTs were sent to North Main Street near Warren Street for a report after a woman was struck by a Subaru Crosstrek. The first responding officers asked for backup and assistance, closing off traffic to the street. Bosquen police sent one of their officers to assist, according to dispatch. She was awake and cautious, but she seems to be in a lot of pain, the officer said. The woman was taken to Concord Hospital by firefighters. North Main Street between School and Warren Streets were closed for nearly 2 hours. Also in Concord, take a look at this. A payloader crashes into SUV in Concord's West End. Police and firefighters were sent to a head-on collision between the payloader and an SUV on Huntington Street. Take a look at this photo here. This is a photo from the scene, as you can see. Concord police and fire and rescue teams were sent to a head-on collision in the West End on Tuesday between an SUV and payloader. Just after 11 p.m., dispatch began receiving reports about a collision on Huntington Street off Center Street. When officers arrived, they found that a Honda Santa Fe and a Honda payloader collided with the front end of the payloader, smashing into the driver's side windshield of the SUV. The first responding officer reported the driver, a woman, had minor injuries but was trapped inside and requested firefighters bring equipment to remove her from the vehicle. Firefighters arrived and removed the driver from the vehicle. They confirmed she had minor injuries, according to dispatch. And it is day 2 of Trump's impeachment trial hearing. Aunt Jemima announces new name, removes racial stereotype from product. Aunt Jemima is getting a new name and a new logo and a new look after announcing that it would be dropping the brand name following criticism that it featured a caricature of a black woman that was a racist stereotype. The new name, Pearl Millennium Company, is a homage to originally mill built in 1888 that began making self-raising pancake mix in 1889. Take a look at the new name and brand and what it looks like. As you can see, this is what it will look like when you go shopping. And that is your news. Now let's go into sports. In sports, the Boston Celtics, they had a game yesterday, and the final score from that game, let's take a look. Boston Celtics 108 and Utah Jazz 122. Utah Jazz won the game yesterday. And take a look at this. Here is what our roving reporter Dan Sheehan said about Boston Celtics game. Take a look at the write-up. Highlights from the game. Take a look. And if you want to see this report, just go to the Riley King Network Facebook page to see and read it again. The Boston Bruins, they play tonight at 7 o'clock p.m. at New York Rangers. And you can watch tonight's game on NBC Sports Boston. And take a look at this report from roving sports reporter Dan Sheehan. And that's gonna do it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of your Wednesday evening, and see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and goodbye, everyone.